What's up, otakus? I am here with what appears to be the last Superman of Summer Hall, or Summer of Superman Hall, excuse me. Um, that's because I'm out of cash. Simple as that. um, so, in yesterday's video, I had mentioned that I had $38 left. Well, that was not true. I had $28 left. And I discovered that this morning as I looked in my wallet. $28. So we were, you know, going into like a trip with 38 versus 28. It's quite a, it's a steep difference. So, I was kind of like, yeah, should we just save the $28 and just wait till the end of summer? But then I don't know. I just needed to get a pulse of the pricing out there because it's been a good 2 days since the movie launch. So I guess if people are going to price their Superman, they're going to price their Superman, right? So if they haven't today, it just tells me that either one, we're still kind of in the early stages of this. But I mean, with social media, like it's already a hit. So I think come Monday, then the numbers will come out. People will just be excited about watching Superman for those that who haven't seen it. But the ones who have are probably just going to go in and say, "Yeah, it's the best movie of the summer," and all those accolades. But what we have to look at is how the market, where the focus of the new comic book collectors and the old, but anybody who right now is getting into Superman comics, like is going to their local LCS and buying. I'm talking about young people, maybe a child, or maybe a young adult who's like just wanting to read more of the you know DC literature. There's a lot of great literature there, and it's now being geared toward different target audiences. It's not just boys anymore. It's young girls. It's queer and trans youth. It's everybody in between who enjoys just great stories and being part of a community of comic book collectors and fans. So, yeah, with this movie, I anticipate there's going to be a lot of manga readers, people who do video games, who will maybe give a comic book a try, right? They'll maybe go to their LCS, give it a read, and decide, you know what, I like this. I like the art on the cover, and they just start to get into comic books. So that's what I'm really excited to see. And based on that, if you are new to comics or if you're old to comics, these are some of the books I have picked up, and I'm going to parse out these videos. Today, we're just going to cover my high grade Silver Age books and Neil Adams books. Okay. But I am going to introduce other things that I think are worth targeting, or well, meaning if you buy it now and just kind of wait for things to happen, these are my picks for that scenario. Basically, my spec picks for what I think will continue to have momentum in the market. It'll be one that collectors will want to have in their collections because they're the ones I want in my collection. So I'm really basing a lot of this on myself, but also my many years of reading comic books, collecting comic books, and being an observer of the last 3 years when I got back into comic books as well. So it's just a lot of kind of perspective there on how far the market has come, but really, like, it looks like Superman's a hit. That tells you one thing: comic books are still popular. At least the content is still popular, because you had Marvel with a decade's worth of engaged people, and now you've got a new. Again, I think there's lots of legs for this to just DC to touch every demographic and bring them toward, Superman and the core DC characters. They just bring them over and win them, and they are sustaining an ecosystem of comic books, movies, and the synergy is there. Now, this may or may not happen. We're obviously just one movie in, but assuming like people really love the movie, and then they gravitate toward either Teen Titans, maybe the Justice League, maybe Supergirl, maybe Superboy, whatever they gravitate towards, that it continues to be quality, which DC is putting out a lot of quality right now. It continues to work in synergy with the movie, the movie franchises, and yeah, we'll just see where it goes. It could be, maybe a one and done, or it could be a decade's worth of like what the MCU created, another era for DCU, and then who knows where that it goes from there. But I want to show off first before we get into the haul. So this is the final haul video, and I want to show off this book first because this is my oldest Superman book, and it's my biggest key. And what we have here is Superboy number 10. Now, I've showed this book off on multiple occasions. This is the first appearance of Lana Lang. And I just wanted to start us off with some Al Plastino goodness right there. And, I picked this up for like 100, I think it was like 180 when it was all said and done with tax, and there's like a fee as well. This guy wasn't like your typical eBay seller. He sold on his website. He was an actual dealer of comic books. Yeah, it's a beautiful copy. It's got its rough spots, but all in all, it looks fantastic. So yeah, this has always been a key centerpiece of my collection. I'm just going to put it back where it rightfully goes normally, right there in the background where you can't see him. All right, so let's get to the haul. I picked up 6 books for $28. 6 books for $28. So I don't know. Someone's going to have to do the math. But where are the books? Thought I had them all organized. All right, well, let me just look for the books real quick. Here we go. Here they are. All right, so we picked up 6 books, and we paid $28. So what is that? About, I want to say $5 a book if you just kind of parse them out. Now, obviously, yeah, we got some books that are not worth $5, but they, they're fun. They're fun things to pick up. All right. So today I went all the way down to Tacoma. We went to Lake City. What is it called? Comics the Gathering. And I remember last year I picked up a lot of kind of Bronze Age-ish, uh, Copper Age-ish keys from that place, Superman and Action Comics. I also picked up some, I picked up a lot of value there. I gotta admit, a lot of it was like Superman stuff I don't run into all that often. I think we picked up a few like older books too, maybe a Lois Lane here and there. But yeah, it's a great place to pick up books. And I just remember, yeah, they have a lot of Superman stuff. Let's just check it out and see. Um, they hadn't repriced a single thing. It's that shop. I don't. I don't even think anybody working in there really collects comics. It seems like those guys weren't really uh, familiar with a lot of the books. They were just kind of working there. But it is what it is. And we went all the way to Tacoma. And as I was driving down there, I just got this sense like today was going to be like a special day. Like I was going to go, and it was going to be like one of those unmyeong moments where um, where I just know that there was something, you know, that was supposed to happen, that it happened, right? Nothing I could predict, but something that was like, it's going to be a good thing, and it's going to be, I'm going to know it when I kind of feel it today. And I felt this like presence with me, like this, like kind of like a elderly presence, like someone was looking over my shoulder and watching, and making sure, I was going to have a safe trip there and safe trip back, and have fun in the process. And hey, what's up, guys? We got Fanboy, woohoo, and we got Prime Survival. What's up, dudes? So, all right, perfect. Glad to keep you company, man. All right, so I got to this place and they had I was just like, man, there's so much good stuff there. Uh, and I was just like, I would go nuts if it was last year, right? I just would have picked up everything. But this year just rings different because I'm forced to make the most of what I have. Again, $28. I was only going to Comics and Gathering to spend $8 at most. And then spend the 20 at Ancient Comics. But I got to Comics and Gathering and I found some books, and I was like, I am not leaving these books here. So I had to kind of like really filter out the ones. There's like a Neil Adams Superman for $7. It's the classic, the book I covered yesterday, right? The 100-page giant-size Superman with the wraparound cover. Now it's a low-grade book, and it was $7, and I was like, man, in normal times I would just gobble this up and just buy it, but this is not normal times, and I wanted to have something going into uh, Ancient Comics. I wasn't going to spend everything right there and then, so I really had to kind of like put stuff back and just do the calculus. Which book do I really want? And it came down to, I only picked up 3 books at Comics the Gathering, and we're going to go over. Well, no, we're going to introduce everything, and then I'll tell you where it came from. All right, so we spent how much did we spend? We spent $15 at Comics the Gathering, which left us with about, it left us with about, what was it, $13. It left us with $13 to spend at Ancient. And so I get to anyway, let's just go over the haul. Then after Comics the Gathering, we went to Ancient Comics, and we just dug there. And then I found the book I was gonna. So I found a lot of potential books that we could get. I really thought hard about it, and I knew Jeff was going to give me a little bit of a deal, so I finally landed on the book I wanted, and then Jeff threw in a couple dollar books as well. So that $13 spent there, uh, we'll get to that as well. So we got 3 books at Ancient Comics. So all in all, 6 books, and we're going to start with. I honestly felt like Neil Adams' spirit was with me all day today. And I told you in the morning I was driving down and I just felt like something, that feeling in the back of your mind, like something good is going to happen today. And I was just like, I'm going to find a really, really awesome book today. Now, I've already moved it. This is not the price on here, but we picked up Lois Lane, number 85, Neil Adams cover. Now, this is another Neil Adams cover I've been just, since I got into now, actually, I almost had the opportunity to pick this up. This way back when at Jeff's, I had all these like Lois Lane, and we almost had picked this up early on. And then there was a point last summer where I almost picked this up. It was at like Half Price Books or somewhere. There were multiple occasions where I'm just like, should I pick it up? I just kind of just kept it off the list because I wanted to just find something that was really nice. This is not a nice copy. It's low grade. It's got creasing. It's got creasing up here. Its spine is just this and that. But again, it looks fabulous. And, the grade doesn't make me love this book any less. So yes, we got Neil Adams, Lois Lane, Silver Age. Neil Adams, Lois Lane, low grade for $2. And I'll just let you decide if that was a good deal or not. I mean, it's got issues. But come on, it's the I'm gonna throw a kryptonite boulder on you if you don't marry me cover. All right. Yeah, there's a value quota per comic, right? Anyway, $2 for that. That's a no-brainer. All right, so moving on. The next book I want to show off is, all right, James Gunn has everybody kind of in the comic book community waiting for, first off, we already know who's coming, right? We know Guy Gardner. If you like Guy Gardner's, first appearance has been taken off. Not so much this one, right? This Justice League run, but this Justice League run is going to be super hot. And if anybody knows the significance of this book, it's related to the movie, then you'll know, that run is going to be just a fan favorite. I don't think it necessarily, there might be movie stuff. There's already movie spec in there. But the tone of this comic book is going to match the tone of it already matches the tone of the Justice. I don't know if I'm going to, anyway, the Justice League that's forming, right? And so with that being said, there's just a lot of possibilities out there outside of the stuff that's already been announced. And what I love about the potential, James Gunn, has brought a lot of your non-typical characters and given them life, like Rocket Raccoon, right? Who would have made a movie and thought Rocket Raccoon was going to be his first appearance was going to be actually a key or a thing, right? Um, and those band of misfits, everybody ends up liking all the characters in that, and so all the keys in that franchise is spiked. So James Gunn is like he's good at doing stuff like that. So it remains to be seen where he's going to draw inspiration from for not only these big franchise movies, but the supporting cast too, or even the villains or the enemies. Right? He's got a lot of things to draw from, and it'll be interesting to see where he lands. I have my theories on a few things, and I'm going to share them with you as part of this haul. One of the things that may or may not come are the TRS-80 computer whiz kids. Now, mind you, like this is when computing was becoming accessible to your average home, and so this retail chain, Radio Shack, they would sell electronics, right? And they sold these they were old before they were even floppy disks. They were like these run on tape cassettes. Um, they didn't have any internet connection. It was just like a word processor, but you could see what you typed on the screen. You could play really sort of early video games on it. Very primitive video games. So yeah, the Commodore, the TRS-80 computer whiz kids. This was, I think, a Commodore computer or something sold at Radio Shack, and these kids are supposedly computer geniuses, and they're helping Superman and Supergirl out. So I've shown off this Radio Shack series before, but I just thought, Jeff threw this in as part of the haul. Didn't really pay anything for it when you think about it. So I was happy to just pick that up. This also was thrown in. This was in the dollar bin. These are both in the dollar bins, by the way. So if I just had bought them, they would have been $1 each. But again, Jeff tossed them in and gave me a discount on the book I got, and we'll cover that in the last part. So what we have here is World's Finest 283. And this is a cover appearance of composite Batman and Superman. The composite Superman was a part of the World's Finest that Dan Mora had, his run with Mark Waid. That run was fun. And I think if you're looking at potential, what we could see, and I've been saying this since day one. And we really have an opportunity to see this. Think about, when's the last time, outside of the animation stuff, when's the last time in television or movies have we seen Batman and Superman as friends, as partners, as, kind of complementing each other to solve crime, right? They're sleuths, detectives. When's the last time we saw something like that? Like a buddy movie with Superman, Batman, and that happening, right? That is, I think, on the radar. So if I'm a betting man, I think there's going to be a Batman, Superman, World's Finest type movie, maybe even television series. But it's going to be one of the main narratives. Maybe we'll just see it in Superman. We'll just see Superman and Batman working together. Either way, it's going to promote the World's Finest, earlier World's Finest titles. And I can't think of anything more menacing than a composite Superman that's got Batman's intelligence. Not to take anything away from Superman's intelligence. Superman's a very intelligent scientist as well. His parents were scientists, okay? So, but mixing the DNA to get some composite android, AI driven android that has the strength of Superman and like the wits of Batman and all that. That would be pretty cool. And I think that has legs. So today I was kind of like focused on, I was definitely looking in World's Finest for stuff. So, and we found some good stuff. And I feel like um, this, the spirit of Neil Adams is what's guiding me, right? Neil Adams has worked on Superman. He's worked on Batman. He's sort of like the father of DC for these two characters. And he's also worked on World's Finest. So I just felt like Neil Adams was speaking to me like, hey, just get Superman and Batman being friends, man. Just, get issues where they're on the cover together or they're in some kind of situation together. And I was like, yeah, I'm feeling it. And I think that's where a lot of collectors are going to kind of, you can do both. You can do either Superman or either Batman, but this is a way for like Batman collectors and Superman collectors to kind of like agree, like, dude, we love when Batman and Superman are friends and we love picking up those kinds of books. So again, we picked up 283 for $1, but it was really just thrown in. It's just a cover appearance of composite Superman. Rich Buckler goodness. 2 books in. All right. We got, 4 more books to show off? No. Yeah, we're 3 books in. We got 3 more books to show off. All right. This one is just kind of offensive. They had a Silver Age World's Finest in there. It's low grade, but it's not low to the point where it's, it couldn't like be in anyone's collection. This one just needs a nice clean, could benefit from a press, but it was there for $2. And I was like, I'm not leaving you for $2. You're just way too valuable for what you are to be $2. We picked up a 12-cent Silver Age World's Finest 143. The feud between Batman and Superman. All right. Some Kurt Swan goodness right there. And $2. Yeah, I was like, and this place, Comics and Gathering, does not give any discounts, so I had to pay 15. It was like $11 plus with tax or something. It was like, what was it? How much did I pay? $3. So I got $9.99, $10, 2 4. So I paid $14, paid the tax. It was $15. But yeah, I was like, I'm not going to leave this there for $2. So we kind of had to put stuff back, but this was one where we're not willing to put back. So I put the grade at like a, good. No, like a good plus, I guess. Staples are still attached. There's just a lot of spine wear increasing and all that. So it's a low grade book. Complete. There's no tears or anything like that. So it's all good. Good. Boo, Batman stinks. Come on. Come on. Like, it can be friends, man. Maybe he'll help Batman get out of his funk, I'm really just wanting to see like a Batman family type, like environment where like Superman meeting the Catwoman, Bruce and Lois are joking about Superman and all that. Don't you want to see stuff like that? That's kind of like where my mind is with that. So hopefully, speaking of more World's Finest goodness, I've been finding like huge World's Finest keys, like like my last haul, 2 bangers of keys, and it just, the unmyeong, the destiny, just continued today. I don't know if it was because I was focused on this so much, but to find like 3 keys and be able to afford them with the money in the budget we had is just incredible. We picked up, again, this is also a good copy. I'd put it at this is like a two, um, maybe even less, maybe like a 1.8. It's got a huge spine split in sections, but it is still stapled. Like it's barely stapled. And there's all this like weathering and dirt along the spine that's kind of like brittle as well. So I couldn't really clean it, but I did get some of the dust off. It was a lot blacker than the back was. Got a lot of the black off, but it's still. But what we have here is the origin and first appearance of Composite Superman. We're just talking about Composite Superman, that he would be a thing, and this is the first appearance, the Silver Age. And what a great character. It's just, he's like, let me read it to you here. The origin of the Composite Superman. He has more than 20 superpowers: invulnerability, invisibility, mind reading, lightning bolts, computer mind, magnetism, elasticity, triplicate bodies, mastery of elements, chameleon powers, super strength, and then just there's a list: X-ray vision, flying disguise. So he's obviously very powerful, and he's going to give our caped duo, the world's finest team, a run for their money there. Let's not forget Robin is in the mix as well. Yeah, he's basically destroying the bat jet in the background there. That's a big one right there, right? So this was in there. This, we paid $10 for this one, $9.99. $10 for this world's finest. And I'm not mad. I am happy. It's the spirit of Neil with me. All right, this is the book of the haul, and it's it's along the same lines, the same themes. I picked up. Let me see if I have it here somewhere. Show you what I picked up yesterday. All right. Well, we picked up World's Finest, and it's the first appearance of the Super Sons, or the Sons of Superman and Batman. So that's that's a huge key. And again, I'm hoping at some point there's going to be like Batman family. This is obviously years of DC stuff. We just want to get through the gun stuff, but at some point, DC is going to cycle around and they're going to introduce the Batman and Superman families. So when that day comes, I think this will be a really big book. This is the origin story of how Superman and Batman first teamed up. It's the story of their first kind of team up. And then again, the Kal-El and Wayne, Jr. are, Bruce Jr. are kind of sitting there looking into the future, and they're saying, hey, you know what? In the future, you and I will team up and we'll be this great superhero team. Fight crime together. Boom. And you just got this great cover here. Now, this is a great looking book. There's not a lot of creasing. The spine's intact. There's a little bit of, like, I want to say it's just like some wear. Somebody kind of bent the book or something, or creased the book there. There's a crease there at the top. And then there's a minute crease like down here a little bit. I don't know if you can see it through the Mylar. You see it right there. Other than that, it looks really nice. I'll show you the back. It's great. Again, this is like a 10 center, 1960. And it's got this great cover of like Batman with his cowl off and Clark, about to change into Superman and all that. With the Super Sons there. I just, yeah, I mean, what more can you say? This book was, Jeff had priced at 15, which is kind of crazy as is, given this is more leans toward a mid-grade book than it does a low-grade book. In fact, I'd put it at like a 4. Well, we gotta address the top thing first, maybe with the press or something. But with the press, some cleaning. I mean, this thing could be really. It's a little faded. It is like sun faded or to some degree. The color isn't as vibrant, but man, who cares? This is like huge key. Adventure Comics, $275. This is the first, the origin story of Batman and Superman's first team up. The pages here with a color, cover appearance by the two Super Sons, and man, does that just feel good. Again, this is $15. We talked Jeff down to 13. I basically gave him all my money. I said, here, take this, and I'll take whatever dollar books you want to throw in. And he threw in I had a stack of dollar books. He threw 2 more books in. Or I picked 2 out, and then we called it a day. So there's my haul, man. We picked up 2 more Silver Age keys. These are a little bit rougher in shape. This is definitely like a 1/8, I would say. It looks great. It's just the spine is really, really problematic. Yeah, I mean, there's no real creasing in the book. That's what's great about it. It's just like there's not a lot of creasing. It's just the spine is on its last legs. It's still the staples are still attached. Surprisingly, this one is again great shape, just a little sun faded, and we got that top issue there. Would really look better with it. It looks like somebody put like a Coke can on there and it seeped through. Why would you put a Coke can on a comic book like this? Please, come on, have some sense, little boy. All right, boom. That is mid-grade, maybe. Yeah, I'll put it. We'll be very, very generous with this copy. Mid-grade copy. I put it at a 4. I'll put it at 4. Everything else looks really good. The spine is even like relatively for this age, just like not a lot of breaks there. I don't know if you can see that from that angle, but boom. All right, there you go. 6-book haul. Spent $28 on that. Again, I think this one at mid-grade alone would put this one at like close to 100 in my estimate. So also legs for that one to run. So very lucky in terms of the pickups. All right, so again, Uncle Neil was his spirit was with me today, so I thought it would be appropriate to just cover my Silver Age collection, my Superman Silver Age collection, as well as show off Neil Adams books, as well as show off the sort of biggest DC slash, or just like my DC keys, I would say, like my best books. I'm just going to show off my best books as well. So you guys are in for a special treat. I've got a lot of books that I wanted to show off, but we thought we'd partition it out so that you guys get a taste of it parsed out throughout the summer. So that's where we're going to be. Like, we're going to be next week, Otaku Weekly. We're not going to have any haul videos, unfortunately. I'm sad too. Yes, I'm very sad. But we are going to have fun looking at my collection and doing some speculating, some recommending, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, I'll just start showing off books here. So I'm showing off pretty much my Silver Age collection. I just want to make sure all the books are. This isn't the entirety of it. These are just, again, my some of the best books, and they're all Superman related. So these are just Superman books. Yeah, I don't know. How should I do this? I'm trying to think. I'm missing books in here. All right, give me just a moment. Oh, they're over here. Okay. All right. Well, again, there was a lot to kind of sort out. I'm sure I've got good stuff mixed in here and there. So this isn't comprehensive. This is just, thanks for kind of like tuning in, and you kind of get a nice little sideshow here. So we just picked this one up. Beautiful looking copy, solid mid-grade. We have Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 75. 12th center. Nothing key about this book, just really, we all love covers like this, right? Just the fun, kind of like what they're each thinking and how different it is. And then why can't they be truthful and honest with each other? We have this beautiful Lois Lane. This has to be my favorite Lois Lane piece in the collection, and it just pops as high grade. It looks absolutely phenomenal, but it's a detached cover. But it's flawless. It is flawless. Show you the spine. Just beautiful. The corners are really sharp. No creasing, just fantabulous with that one. I think DC is going to really, not just Superman ladies, but there's a lot of great female characters throughout the DC universe, and so you're really going to get a introduction of, I think, a really hefty balance of male and female characters. But with that being said, the loves of Superman's life are Lana and Lois. It's the bizarre love triangle there, right? Nothing key about this one. You just got Luthor, you got Lois and Lana, and then you got the Man of Steel. Great 10-cent cover there. This is key. This is the first meeting between Superboy and Supergirl, and I remember I think I paid $4 for this, something ridiculous like that, like $4 or $5 for this. It's got a big hole in the middle of the cover, so it's like low grade. But come on, look at this. You wouldn't even be able to tell until I got up close and showed you the big gaping hole. But yeah, nice tight copy of this Silver Age key. Again, the first meeting between Superboy and Supergirl. Just a classic cover there. Playing the darts. That one will be homaged, I'm sure. We've got high grade. This I put this at like a 7.5 copy. We got Superman 180, The Girl Who Was Mightier Than Superman. Classic cover there. Is a fan favorite. Oh, just beauty, beauty, beauty. We got Supergirl and Batgirl, their first cover appearance together. This is, I think, their first team up. The four of them, I think. But yeah, we got a really nice copy here. This would be a mint copy if it weren't for that corner crease. So everything else looks fantastic. Love that cover. We got that is not a book we want to show off today. Oh yeah, we do. We do want to show off that one. All right, so this is another Silver Age. It's not really a key book. It's just one of those iconic covers from the Silver Age. Superman battling himself. I put this grade at like 7.5 as well. Looks fantastic. All right, now we're going to get into some of my Neil Adams stuff. And you guys will know one of my first pickups when I got back into collecting was this beautiful Neil Adams book. I got this raw, and I thought, I want to get this one slabbed. And so we did so. Now I submitted this book thinking the book would come in a lower grade. So when we got the 8.5, we were very, very happy. But I mean, I have a T-shirt of this book, so it should tell you something. This one is a book that is extremely undervalued. So if you see this book for under $100 and it's a decent grade, go grab it. Go grab it. And grab it and enjoy that book. It's a beautiful Neil Adams book. All right. We targeted Neil Adams for the most part. A lot of Neil Adams Superman stuff, but we also picked up Neil Adams just keys. For example, this is the award-winning Dead Man cover. This one's detached, but I'll take it for $20. Pay $20 for that one. We've got, yeah, 1968 Neil Adams goodness there. Happy birthday, happy unhappy birthday. Really, that's what Superman's all about. He's got happiness. People on the other side are unhappy. More Neil Adams goodness there. This is the first Superman with the bullet logo. This is the first Action Comics with the bullet logo. So Neil Adams goodness on both. Those are in high grade. This one is a 12-cent high grade book and a red cover. I mean, I put this at like a 8.5. It's Silver Age high grade Neil Adams. That's all you need to. Those are the only words you need to hear. This one is low grade, but classic cover nonetheless. Forget what we paid for this, but it was undervalued for sure. We picked it up at a couple bucks maybe. Boom. And then this is a book Roger gifted me. And after I got it, I just wanted to get it signed. And we got it signed by Joseph Rubinstein. at Emerald City Comic Con. Neil Adams, homage to his own classic cover. All right, more Neil Adams books here. We've got, this is a gift from Sarah. You probably know her as Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe. She sent over this. This is a reprint. It's a facsimile copy of Green Lantern. What number was this? 85. We got the Neil Adams signature on there. Very nice. That's a big book right there. That's a DC key you want to pick up. All these are great books. This is number 78. Great Black Canary cover there. We got some Batman that we want to show off. Oh man, Neil Adams goodness right there. That's Batman 243. This is Detective Comics 412. This is another book Roger had pressed and cleaned for us. It looks fantastic. It looks so smooth and looks really, really high grade, but again, I have to tell you all the little flaws that don't make it high grade, but from looking at it, you would never know, right? This is a good mid-grade copy of World's Finest 176. Right, you got Supergirl and Batgirl. I could see Supergirl and Batgirl teaming up. You know, a little you know, everybody's helping each other out in the Gunverse, right? You know, everybody's teaming up. Everybody's helping each other out. That's what you got to do, right? Got this book here. This is just a classic cover here. 243 Superman, the alien hugging issue. Got another copy of Action Comics. This one also is probably like a 7.5. I'd put it at 7.5. Got a little bit of a corner crease there at the top. That's about it. Barely colored. It's not even, well, yeah, it's not really colored. Maybe it'd show up after press. We got Superman 234. More Neil Adams. This is Bronze Age stuff. This is a lot of Neil Adams stuff. More Superman goodness here. You get this again. We have ran into this book as well for $7.99. So it was $8. And the only reason I didn't pick that up was because I had a better copy at home. That $7 copy, even though it looked okay, it had issues on the back. There was some foxing, but the cover was pretty decent. Not as good as mine, but it had that had needed more of a press. So if that had gotten pressed and cleaned, I think that actual copy probably has the potential to outshine this one. But Roger worked on this. This one looks fantastic. That other one would need some work to get there, but to get here. But so that's what prompted us. We're just like, yeah, we could pick it up but not have any money. I wouldn't have been able to pick up the that 10 center, World's Finest 10 center, if we had picked this one up. So glad I didn't. In hindsight, 2 of these wouldn't have made much sense. That early Silver Age keys worth a lot more, for sure, moving forward. All right, we got Superman 213. Got this over at last year at Comics Again. No, what was it? It was at Stargazer Comics. We paid like $10 for that one. These are pickups from Emerald City Comic Con a couple years ago. I think we paid like $5 for each of these. Don't regret doing that. All right, continuing on with the Neil Adams. We've got some Neil Adams like bigger keys now. We have this Detective Comics 1000 signed by Neil. Also Alex Maleev, Peter Tomasi, Jim Lee cover. It's only missing the Jim Lee signature, which we are going to get this book at the next event. If should he come to Emerald City, we're there with this book. We got Neil Adams' first work on a Batman book, Detective Comics 370. He signed it. Enough said. That's just a museum piece right there. Museum. We got this for like, I want to say like, we got this like for like $6 or $5 or something. Absolutely gorgeous copy of Superman 317. This is the green, irradiated with kryptonite, about to die, but he's gonna take you out before he goes, because that's what he does. We've got this is Neil Adams' first work on Action Comics, high grade. Put it at a 758. It's fantastic looking. This is really high grade. This is about an 8.5. I want to say it would be as high as a 9. It's got a corner issue, but that's really it. It's just so flawless. I mean, Superman 210, Neil Adams, goodness right there. Batman 200, this one was clean and pressed by the seller who sold it to us. I was a little disappointed in the grade, but it's a solid mid-grade book. We did get a bargain on it, like we didn't pay more for what this grade is, but yeah, I mean, it looks good. Batman 200. This is Neil's first work on the Batman title, on the anniversary issue there. Another World's Finest anniversary issue here. This one I love. I love this one. World's Finest 179. It's like two, again, origin of the Superman Batman team up. And then we have from Superman, their first team up as well on the pages of Superman. So got the origin and the first team up. So real key book here. This grade's at probably like a 6.5. Yeah, 6.5, maybe higher. It's got a square bound, which is really beautifully intact, just a little smushed, but that's to be expected when it's squashed against books for so many years. I honestly think like putting your books like this, stacking them, really not a good idea. You got to keep them standing without a lot of pressure either, just standing without anything pushing it up against it. No pressure. But World's Finest 179, yes, high grade of that. And everybody's seen this one. This is the case of the People versus Superman signed copy. There's another museum piece right there. All right, we've got some more books to show off here. We got Superman, Michael Turner signature. These are like some of my favorite books in the collection. We got Superman 226, a real high grade copy of the Superman being King Kong. Kurt Swan getting this right there. What else we got? Action Comics 309, 8.0 on this one. Let me take it out and show it off. Whew. This is all the classic Silver Age characters. This is a really memorable issue. Glad I have this one in my collection at a high grade. All right, we got some of my bigger DC keys. We got Superman signed by Jim Lee. We also got the Batman mirror counterpart signed. I didn't pull it out. We got Jim Lee 1000 foil with his signature there at a 9.8. That's some flexing right there, I know. We've got Brian Bolland first print, The Killing Joke. I got this for $200. It's a 9.6 Brian Bolland signature. That was a steal. We also have Euman's first appearance of Deadpool. I don't know how that got in there. I should have shown that off. That's not a Superman or DC book, but we have that. All right, the last two books I'm going to show off, and yeah, I mean these are two of the best books of my collection. They're really high grade too. That's what astonishes me. When people get stuff like this signed, they preserve it, right? They take care of it. And what we have here initially is a Neil Adams signature with Al Plastino signature on Superboy 143. Really nice copy there. You can probably tell through the book there's just not a lot of issues with it. It's high grade. Love to get this one graded someday. Fantastic. And my Grail book that I got last summer. This is that hands down the best thing I will ever own in my life. And, you know, no need to get this graded. I just love it. I don't need a label telling me what the grade is on this. It just doesn't matter. I'm never gonna. It can be whatever grade it wants to be honest. But we have Superman 1. I put the grade at like a 6.5, maybe a 7. It looks like a 7. Yeah, I want to say 7.5 even. There's no creasing. Just some spine wear is it. So is whatever a grader how much demerit they give this spine. But again, I'm impartial. I think this would be a 7.5 easy. We've got Superman 233, The Breaking of the Chains. We got it signed by the master himself. So there you go. That's my Neil Adams collection. Neil Adams books, Superman books especially, I would target. If you wanted a detailed description of why he's somebody you should collect and pick up, go watch some of my other videos on Neil Adams. I've done a lot of Neil Adams top covers, Neil Adams' first books, Neil Adams' first work on characters and all that. So please go check that out when you have time. But yeah, this last book is my centerpiece. I mean, I got two 233s, but this is the one that gets the love here. Centerpiece of my collection. Will always be that. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I know it was a lot of books we went through, but I'm going to continue to do this. We're going to cover just stuff that I would target if I were you. If I was a collector and I was into. So if you're into Neil Adams and Silver Age, high grade Silver Age stuff, these are all kinds of stuff that I would recommend you pick up. We're going to continue to do Superman books, DC related books in the next video, and we'll just make this a series. We're just going to do a series of them. I think I want to focus on the ladies of DC next. So like I mentioned in brief, didn't get to show a lot of those books off, but we'll focus more on the ladies. in our next video. So Otaku Weekly on Friday. Come check us out again. Every week we're here. Uncle Neil, thanks. And yes, thank you for your work, Uncle Neil. And I know you're watching down on us collectors. We appreciate you. All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.